GingerGM.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a stream. So yeah, it should be a bit of fun, a little bit educational for a change. Well, I don't know about a change. Sometimes you learn something, sometimes you don't. And yeah, we're basically today I'm going to be teaching Bjorn, who I'm going to get on Skype as we speak. God, I hate Skype, but you know, we'll have to deal with it. I'm going to be teaching Bjorn the King's Indian defense. So this should be quite interesting, and hopefully it will be, you'll learn something as well. Maybe you'll learn a new opening if you played a King's Indian defense anyway, which is where black plays against d4. So it's an opening against d4. It's one of the most exciting openings you can play. It's, you know, fascinating stuff generally when you get this. I've just realized I've got to just add something, so just bear with me. Well prepared as always, I thought, until we have this. So let me just get this on the go. And 1 second, I need to just add a game that I thought we had sorted. And yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll learn something, basically. So we're going to get Bjorn on the chat in a minute. I've just got to work out how to sort this out. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get rid of this. No, we don't want to do that, do we? How do we do this? PGN, that's what we want, people. PGN. And we just have to edit this so you guys know who is playing, etc. And I've got some examples. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, cool. So I've got some examples I want to show you, and together we will learn the King's Indian defense, basically. So probably going to be about an hour and a half, 2 hour stream, something like that. I'm going to try to, it's very hard to teach an opening in that time period, so we'll see how I get on. Maybe it's impossible, I'm not sure. We'll find out. Hey, Captain Bunratty. Hello, mate. What does that say? Yeah, okay. So, oh, you're in Tokyo at the moment. Oh, that sounds great. That sounds like I love Japan. I spent 3 weeks over in Osaka and Nara, over in Japan in my early 20s with a friend. Had great fun over there. So yeah. Hello to Captain Bunratty, who runs the tournament in Bunratty, weirdly enough. So okay, so I think we're going to get Bjorn on the call, and I'll just get him arranged so he's sitting next to me, if you know what I mean, even though he's not Oslo. So let's do that. Let's give Bjorn a quick bell, and we'll get cracking shortly. So let's see if we can get our Bjorn on the call. Are you talking about ancient times? Yes, I am. Tomato juice. I'm always talking about ancient times. So is Bjorn there? Well, I was speaking to Bjorn quite recently, so we'll see if we can get him on shortly. I'll put him next to me and just do a little bit of rearranging, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Thank you for subscribing. Beam me up, Scotty. Big in Japan. I don't know about that. I'm not sure I'm big in Japan, but it's an amazing country, Japan. Totally different to a lot of Western countries. And how are you finding it, Captain Bunratty? I'm shrinking. I know. It's about time I started shrinking. So you know, I've been growing for too long. So and it's not easy to shrink around Christmas time, is it? So we're gonna have to do a little bit more growing, I feel, before the shrinking in January does start. So let me just get Bjorn's name up there, and I'll give him another call in a second, and then we'll get started with the lesson. Bjorn from Vikings. Well, he's from Oslo, so Bjorn is a mini Viking. That's for sure. And let's try giving him another ring now. Japan is great. I love it. I visit here anytime, but I couldn't live here, says Captain Bunratty. So yeah, it's a crazy place, Japan. Probably best to visit there. I mean, you should go to some of the more chilled out areas, Jerry. Like Nara is the old capital of Japan, an amazing place. When I was a kid, I loved ninjas. I don't know, it's just one of those things I loved. And I know ninjas came from Mount Fuji in Japan. I was well into, they used to call me the Ginger Ninja when I was at school. So I used to do a lot of karate and stuff, but that was I haven't done any of that for ages. But yeah, anyway, great place. I'd love to go over to Japan again. Right, we'll just get Bjorn on. So, hi Bjorn.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going okay, mate. It's going okay. Pretty much the same as it was half an hour ago.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just weird not getting a hello, but an intro to ninjas. So
yes. Sorry, mate.
I was a little bit confused.
Yes. We have Jerry in the chat, and he's actually over in Tokyo at the moment, Bjorn.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's over in
I
Tokyo.
always wanted to go to Japan, but not so far.
I'll tell you what, Bjorn. As you're doing brilliant things for GingerGM, Bjorn, who works at GingerGM, if we have a good year, then the end of next year we'll have a business trip to Japan, shall we?
Oh, I'm on board. Yeah.
Can you imagine Blair in Japan?
Oh shit! I forgot about him.
We'd have to invite him. We'd have to invite Blair to Japan. It would be interesting. So
I'm on board anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Morpheus is very observant, saying that you've shaved.
Oh yeah. Thanks for noticing. That's very observant.
Very observant. Very good.
Yeah. I've shaved and I got my new Christmas shirt on, as somebody else is noticing. So yeah.
Yes. All good. And my jumper's a little bit Christmassy, but not as cheerful as your jumper. Just a mini cheer.
Miniature. Yeah. No, usually I go for a beard in the winter time here, but my girlfriend's giving me this subtle hint that she doesn't like it. Which I guess is not subtle.
Breaking it to you nicely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shave that bloody
you
beard
look like
off.
a caveman.
Yes. Well, I do know a little bit about that. This thing growing on my chin. So a little bit.
Yeah.
Rollstar is saying dorky sweaters are only acceptable one day before Christmas. What do you have to say about that, Bjorn?
It's third day in a row I'm wearing it, so yeah. I guess. I guess I don't agree.
It looks clean still, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
That's good. And by the way, Jerry,
I was happy it's no green in here, because then it would kind of be see-through. I think I have some green in my arms.
Yes.
Maybe that will look weird, but yeah.
It kind of doesn't look too bad. The green screen's still working at the moment.
Great.
And obviously, some of you may know that Jerry in the chat, Captain Bumratty, runs the Bumratty tournament, and he's asking you in the chat, Bjorn, do you know any Viking grandmasters, Scandinavian grandmasters who might want to visit Bumratty this year? Do we know any? I would say Tiger Hillett Persson from Sweden would be a good person to get. Maybe Magnus Carlsen. Should we try to get him over?
I'm hoping so. I know some of his friends is coming this year. His best friend is coming. So
wow,
there's always hope. Yeah.
Imagine that. I mean, there is a rumor, Jerry. We know. Well, you might have been a bit drunk, Jerry, but over in Oslo, you invited his friend over on full conditions, I think. So that's.
Oh, what was the conditions? I didn't hear that.
I think he offered him free accommodation and stuff. Magnus's friend, but
okay.
Yeah.
Just for being his friend.
I think just because Jerry was drunk and he's a nice guy, our school. So I don't know, but
guess I should have taken advantage of that myself. But
you were too busy beating him at Blitz, were you, or losing?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reminding us.
Anyway, so Bjorn, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share my screen with you.
Yep.
Just so you can see it as well. And what we're going to do today? Well, do you want to say how this started? How we got to the idea of today's lesson, I suppose.
Yeah, basically, I told you I was doing pretty well in the kind of local club champions or club matches and stuff like that. I'm progressing, but especially with the Jabava system, I'm doing well. And then I really don't have a black opening. I'm playing the black lion, which is okay with against e4, but I'm also playing it against e4. And I was basically just maybe I should kind of switch here and start learning a new opening, and asking you which one you would suggest for my playing style. So yeah, that's basically how it started. Yeah.
Definitely. And well, I mean, so one of the most important things in chess is to, I always say, have free openings. You know, before you can play proper chess, you need to have free openings. And Bjorn, as he mentioned, maybe only has two. So when I say free openings, you should have one as white. So with the white pieces, we have, we have Bjorn playing the Jabava London system. So with d4 and then knight c3, which I've done a course of Chessable on, and there's a download you can buy for GingerGM shop. So that's one opening Bjorn has white, so you can play white okay.
Yep.
Now when you're black, it's a little bit trickier, because on move 1, white has various moves. White can, but there's really two moves you need to be prepared against: d4 and e4, which are basically different setups. Now Bjorn against e4 plays the black line, as I think Morpheus Morp does in the chat as well. And the black line, which I've done a YouTube video on, and we're not going to talk about that a lot today because that's not what it's about today, is the following setup. I'll just show you the first couple of moves. You go here, d4, knight to f6, knight to c3. Now you play knight bd7, normally knight here, and you play e5, and this is the basic setup. And later on, you often try to play h6 and g5. And there's a little rumor I might be doing a Chessable course on this, actually. My next course might be on the black line, Bjorn, possibly. There's a rumor going about. So this is the black line, but Bjorn doesn't really have anything if white plays d4 on move 1. Now, if you try to
Which is kind of weird, because every time I sit down against a white player, I'm praying he will play e4 on the first move, which is a good sign that I should learn something else.
Yeah, it is a good sign. I mean, one thing you don't want to be in chess, and I've had this many times, and I still have this, is hoping that your opponent's going to play a certain opening because you don't like an opening you play, or you're not sure. You want to be
especially on the first move.
Yeah, you want to be confident in everything you do. Yeah. And if you tried a black line against this, which you can do, but I don't think at top level it's a brilliant idea. So Morpheus is saying he goes d6 and e5, trying to get it straight away.
Right away. Okay, yeah.
Now, if you try that in this position, obviously e4 you're happy with, but but generally white has a number of other moves, the main move being c4.
C4.
Now we will look at Bjorn, and I expect you're going to get this a lot, the London system, which can be played knight to f3 on move 2,
which is also hell to play against with this setup.
Also hell to play against. Great. Good start here. So so in actual fact, against d6 is not a bad move order for you, Bjorn, because if bishop f4, the king's Indian defense, let me just explain what the king's Indian defense, the main line is. Now, it's an incredibly complex opening, and there's lots of different setups that you need, that white can try against you. But the main line is considered to be where you move your knight out first, and then c4 is the main line, and now you play g6, and you fianchetto your bishop. So this is what is often considered bishop g7, e4, the main starting position of the king's Indian defense. And this is really what we're going to mainly concentrate on today, Bjorn. But you'll probably find at lower levels, white might avoid this and play lots of other setups, which I'll have to cover another time.
Right.
But I think we should start with the main lines of an opening before we move to the sidelines, because, you know, in big tournaments, this is the position that white will often go for most of the time. And what I mean, first of all, what do you know about this position, Bjorn? And people in the chat, you can get involved as well. But what do you know about this particular position, Bjorn? Anything at all or not?
No, I knew that the bishop was being foreshadowed, but now you've told me more than I know, so I know absolutely nothing.
You know absolutely nothing.
No.
Love it. So this is a great way to start learning.
Except it's very fun to play with white against this with the Jabava London system. If white doesn't or black doesn't go d5 early on, it's very fun to play.
That's indeed true. And I mean, the important thing to first bear in mind with this kind of position, to the ones you're maybe used to, is you're probably used to having the pawn on c2 in a lot of lines. And talking about the black line, let's say after d4, I mean, if you try to do the black line, I would say d6 is probably best. But if you go knight f6, now c4, you get a different position to do, because they haven't played e4. So if you play d6 here, they can do a lot of things here. They can go knight f3, but knight c3 again. And of course, you can play in these positions e5, which has been mentioned, but you have to be prepared to go into this ending, which I don't think you enjoy, Bjorn, would you?
I would rather kill myself.
You'd rather kill yourself, okay?
Than playing this in a lot of my games. No, no, I don't want that.
It's a matter of style, but this is as Rancid Gambit has said, the old Indian. The problem is, you know, white can go into these positions where you have to swap queens, and this is not to everyone's, you know, suiting, and you have to pick openings that suit your style.
Yeah.
And the reason I picked the King's Indian defence for Bjorn is that he's a very, I think, imaginative, tactical player who likes a struggle with the queens on the board. So if you try the black line, I mean, Morpheus says he does it with d6, c4, e5. Again, you have to be willing to go for this ending.
Yeah.
So this is the main problem. And also another very good move here for white is d5. And I've tried this as black myself. And if you try something like f5, e4 is very annoying at some point. And this is just a different opening. So what we're going to look at, and another reason I picked the King's Indian defence, is that you'll actually find there are some similarities between the King's Indian defence and the black line. So the first thing I should mention here, Bjorn, is that the main line is what we looked at where white takes over the centre. So we're mainly concentrating on that today. But of course, you can face bishop f4.
Yep.
Now, another thing I would say here is for your move order in the King's Indian defence. So let's go to the main kind of position, which is this position here. This is like the starting position. Now, at some point, black has to play d6, okay, in the King's Indian defence, because e5 is annoying in a lot of positions. So you want to play d6, and now if e5, you can take the queen off, and you get a better position. So you're not worried about swapping queens then, to be honest.
Just because it's so much better?
Black is better simply in this position. Something like this, and you've got knight here, and white is a bit overextended here in this position. Don't worry about this. We won't go into the sidelines yet. I mean, this will probably be sidelines next time we do a lesson. But you don't need to worry about this. So generally, the point I'm trying to make is you have to play d6 in the King's Indian defence.
Right.
Okay. Now, a good move order for you, and this is something that might be a good move order because you're acting against the very popular London system, is to play d6 in this position. Now, the reason for this is that you're not really fearing e4, are you? Because if they play e4, you've got what you want, yeah?
Because then I can go back into
the black line. And a lot of the King's Indian
it has another advantage for me, Simon, because now I can actually pre-move the first move in blitz games.
Yes. So you save yourself half a second, yeah?
Exactly, yeah.
Brilliant. And it's kind of nice playing. It's kind of nice playing, you know, the same first move against everything. I think.
Yeah.
You know? I think it's kind of enjoyable because you know you get into the habit of not worrying about what your opponent's going to do. You adapt. And the other good thing about this is you haven't committed your knight to f6.
No.
Okay, now we're not going to look at the Jabava London today. We won't do that because that's another killer fish. But if they do the normal London system with bishop f4, you now do not need to develop your knight to f6. You shouldn't develop your knight to f6. Sander Diesel just subscribed. Thank you very much. Now, why don't you want to develop your knight there? Because you can play g6 straight away. And the point of this is you're trying to play a quick e5 with knight d7 first, and your knight on f6, if you had moved it to that square, will get in the way of the bishop.
Right, okay.
So your bishop wants to be here controlling this square. So let's say white plays a normal move, a London system. You go bishop here. Let's say they go here. And now you can play your knight to either of these squares, but here. And you get e5 in. And this is like quite an aggressive way to play against the London system.
Okay, so you get e5 in any way here.
Yes, because you haven't got a knight on f6.
Exactly.
So there's no way.
I've since I played a black line, I usually play the knight to d7 and kind of hope that he doesn't play knight f3. There's that hope again, and then because then I know I get e5 in it, which is quite annoying for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a position.
But now, yeah, this way you get to e5 in. There's no way you can stop me playing e5 now.
No, and the point is you haven't moved your knight out too quickly, so you're giving a bit more extra control to e5. So this might be a quite good move order for you to play d6.
Okay.
And the point is here, it can probably and will probably transpose to the King's Indian defence, with c4 be the main move. And now you can even go g6 here, and you're going to get into a King's Indian defence.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's go for this move order. And I just want to mainly look today at this position, the main position. Okay?
Okay.
So this is what we need to learn. When you're learning any opening, I think it's correct to learn the main position first. And this is the main King's Indian defence positions. So the first thing we should say about this, Bjorn, and we've got to think about what you're trying to do in this opening already, rather than let's learn the plans rather than the moves. Well, what's good about White's position, Bjorn? I mean, it's quite it's very simple. But what's good about White's position here?
Right. So White has the center.
Yes.
And White has space.
Yes. Correct. Simple. Now, what's good about Black's position? You're playing in a hyper modern way, so you're aiming to attack the center a bit later on, but also you're relying on lots of little breaks and attacking moves. And in my opinion, being a d4 player all my life, this position here is the most aggressive way you can play against d4. It's the most aggressive opening. It's played by Fischer, Kasparov. All the aggressive players in the world have played this opening. Macau Tao. It's very aggressive. It may not look like it, but it is.
Oh, yep.
Now, first of all, I'll just show you a couple of games, okay? 2 games. So you just get a feel for what we're trying to do, okay? Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first game is actually a game I had against Victor Korchnoi, and we won't spend too much time looking at it, but just the main ideas. And this was played, I don't know, 15 years ago.
Just a random game.
It just was, yeah. I mean, I normally play the Dutch defense, but I thought, I'm playing Korchnoi, and Korchnoi was famous for playing Kasparov many times. And Korchnoi always said about the King's Indian defense. You know what he said? He said it was a terrible opening.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he said no one should play the King's Indian defense. It's absolutely one of the worst openings you can play. So I thought I should play the King's Indian defense against him, because why not? It made sense in some weird reason. And okay, so now let's just have a look at how the game can develop. So White develops normally, knight to f3. Yep. Yeah, he's got to develop his pieces. This is the main line. And of course, we castle, so we already have a nice position, nice safe position over there. And now there are many moves here. But what already do you think your main ideas could be here to try to gain some counterplay, Bjorn? Because White does have the space. What kind of things are you trying to do here? Because you can't just sit here and struggle with no space. You need to play aggressively, and this is often the case of any position. You should look at pawn breaks mainly.
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking the E or the F pawn needs to move at some time.
Well, if you want to move the F pawn, you should.
Like a move.
If you want to move the F pawn, you should move it on move 1.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, you're totally correct. The F pawn does move, but the main King's Indian break and the main move you're always going to try to do, and what I'm always suggesting you play once you've got, we'll call this stage 1. This is the stage 1 setup. The main move I'm recommending you aim to play is E5. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it's a little bit like the black line, yeah. Except your bishop's on a different square, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like it. Now there is a school of thought that Black can also play C5. Okay.
Okay.
In some positions, and this also makes some logical sense, but we want to keep it as simple for you to learn as possible. I think, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So we're not going to look at any positions unless it's really called for where you play C5. Now, you could play C5 in a lot of positions. You're aiming to play E5.
Yep.
So Korchnoi now played H3. And the idea of this move is often to put the bishop on E3. Now, if you put the bishop on E3 straight away, knight G4 is a bit annoying. Okay.
Okay,
A
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit annoying. So this is why Korchnoi played h3, just to control this square.
Okay.
He's got more space. So now, can you play e5 or not?
Let's see. No,
Sure.
don't think so. Well, you can takes, and then
Now, you can't always avoid exchanging queens, I'm afraid.
then you can take the queen.
Yep. So this is the first question. Can black play e5?
It gets tactical, doesn't it?
Well, you want a bit of tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a bit of action. So
Let's see. D takes C5. Takes.
And let's remember, Bjorn doesn't know anything about the King's Indian, so learn together. Obviously, some of you will probably know more, and some of you less. So be patient. It's kind of giving a lesson towards Bjorn. And Bjorn, I know, learns very quickly. Shall we see what happens if you try?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Now
it seems like you can the way you're talking, but I'm struggling to see it.
The general rule is, Bjorn, you can play e5 immediately in these positions because of tactical reasons, where you have some knight takes e4
Oh, you can
moves.
take... Right, okay, right.
And this move...
There's going to be a lot of exchanges, but...
There could be a lot of exchanges, but the thing is, what you'll find is, even if the queens come off in these positions, you get very exciting middle game positions. All the other pieces stay on the board. And remember, as you're black,
right,
you should be happy if you get an equal position. It's just the way of life. You might get the queens off, but you have to just... Let's have a look. Okay, so if white does take it, we take back. Yeah? Let's say he takes queens first, yeah?
That seems like a good move for white.
Now, in this structure, you get quite a lot in the King's Indian, and this happens quite a lot beginner, lower down level. And positionally speaking, black should be better, funnily enough here. Positionally speaking, why should black be better, positionally speaking, in this pawn structure? Why, if you can just finish your development and there's no tactics, why is black better here? And that's a question, again, for anyone watching in the Twitch chat. So try to answer the question yourselves as well. And Alex, don't look at the chat, Bjorn. But Alex, you have hit the nail on the head immediately. And this is very important for the King's Indian defence. So, no, you can answer in the chat, Alex. I'm just saying, Bjorn, don't look at the chat.
No, I'm just looking at your shared screen, actually.
Sure.
Just to let you know, I do see the rest of the game, so but
sure.
I'll try not to.
Yeah, don't worry. It doesn't matter if you can see it or not. I'm going to ask you questions anyway.
But now I'm struggling to see why white should be better because of the pawn structure.
Sorry, black should be better. Black should be better.
Black should be better.
Black should be better. Black positionally.
Black should be better. Well,
yes.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Black has the open file.
That's not the main reason, because that's like negligible. You can't do much on that file. There's a more important reason why black's better. And if you think about squares, you've got to think about weak squares, strong squares. I know you're but you've got to think positionally always as well. What squares are weak in white's position?
So at least I see that the D4 square is a good square for black.
Very nice.
And it's easy to get a knight in there as well.
Yeah. And what about the symmetrical image of that? D5. Why is this not a square that's
because the C pawn has not moved yet.
Correct. And this is the main reason. Now, I saw McSqueezy said he recommends this line as white. I think John recommends it without H3, but with Bishop E2, and we'll come back to that. I mean, you might get this ending, Bjorn, I'm afraid, but you won't all the time. And you just, when you're playing with black, you have to just be willing to sometimes go.
If I'm better, then okay.
Yeah, I mean, in this position, I would take black, because the point is, at some point, this square here, you can try to get control of.
Right.
But white can't easily get control of this square because of C6.
Exactly.
I mean, even one minute you can do with this knight is to bring it here, D7, then here, C5, then here, E6, and then here.
Right.
So it looks long, but this maneuver, not because you want to get this square here, you can even go this way. You can.
So you're saying, like,
this is what
the open file is not.
It's not that important.
Something, but it's not important.
It's not that important because you can't redo anything on it. There's nothing you... And later on, white can always try to swap rooks off.
Right, so it's easy to... Okay, so you don't really control it. You just have a rook there.
Yeah, that's right. It's nice to have a rook there, but it's not such a big deal. The big deal is you can try to get control of this square, but white will struggle to get control of this square because of c6. And if he goes here, you can just go knight a6 and then c6, kick that knight away. You know?
Right.
And
like, I'm just trying to think about what I would normally think in these positions, and I would also say that black has already castled and his king is safer, but is that also not an issue? Or?
Well, I would say you're better developed, because if white wants to get the rook in the game, he has to move the bishop, he has to castle, so you've got more tempo. You're already castled. I mean, in the positions where it's not so tactical anymore. Castling is not as important. Castling is more important in tactical positions.
And the queens are off the board.
But the main thing is this square. And it's very important to remember this maneuver, either this way or this way, and just try to come in here. And you can gain this square later on, and white can't do anything about that.
Right. So either you're going to have a strong piece there, or you're going to get a passed pawn.
Yeah, strong piece, or you can even just try to keep control of it with your rook. And often what happens, this bishop will come to life when you take with a pawn. So it's, again, this is very general thing. So I think we'll move on.
Okay,
But one very important thing to think about of any opening is how the first thing you should always learn when you learn an opening is the pawn structures. What happens when they change, what both sides are trying to do. And also you should know where to put your pieces. You know, how the pawn structure can change, what white will be doing, what you'll be doing, and what your pieces are doing, you know, with all the different structures. But the main move here, and what white generally does, Bjorn, in this position, and what Korchnoi played against me, is d5. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Structure is the most common pawn structure you will get in the King's Indian defense, where white blocks the position down, like this. Now, where is white strongest? And let's think about future white pawn breaks that white has. What future white pawn breaks might white be trying to play? And you should probably try to play on the board where you're strongest. So where is white strongest? On the king side, queen side? Where do you think, Bjorn?
Yeah, where is strongest? It feels natural to me that f4 would be the main pawn break here.
Okay.
But if to say that he's strongest on that side,
Now there's a general rule that if we go back to world champion Alekhine, and Alekhine made this rule, which is a very nice rule, and this is a good rule of thumb. And we're looking at this from the white point of view first. We'll come to the black point of view. If white ever gets a pawn to d5 in nearly any opening, nearly any opening, white is strongest and should play on the queen side. Because if you think this is on the queen side of the board, so that's where white has the space, because he's taken this control, and that's where white should be directing his play. And c5 is actually the main break that white will be trying to play later on. Okay.
So this is actually a bit common to some of the positions in the black line where
white
where white plays d5, and his main idea is to kind of get the pawns rolling on that side.
Yes.
Which is, if they don't do that, I'm usually fine. If they start doing that, it's it's a race basically.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned f4. Now f4 is quite rarely played. I'll just show you why. Because we've got to think of the pawn structure. Don't care about the moves. So I'll just play some moves, not maybe the best ones. Let's just say that, you know, white ever plays this move. Now the problem white has by playing this move positionally is that you should take this pawn, and now
then the e-pawn is really weak, maybe.
Well, the e-pawn is weak because it can't be defended by another white pawn. It's what we call maybe even a sort of isolated backwards pawn. But there's one square now which is really nice for black. One square on the board. Again, like before, you remember you've mentioned the d4 square, but there's one square in the position now which you can try to get a piece to. Maybe this putting my bishop here was a bad move, by the way, but it's not important. That white can never attack a piece when you get a piece there. So what square is very weak for white, sorry, here, and that you can try to take over eventually?
Well, the e5 square looks...
Yeah, definitely, the e5 square. Yeah. And, you know, imagine this bishop is not here. What you can try to do is just get your piece to this square eventually. And when you get a piece to this square, white can never attack it with a pawn. So f4 is not something you worry about, okay? Just generally, f4 you don't worry about. So we talked about white ideas. So white is trying to come on the queen side because that's where he's strongest. Now, what do you think your main plan is here? And when the pawn structure gets like this is the main plan that black nearly always plays in the King's Indian. And it's one reason why I enjoy playing the King's Indian. myself. The next plan. I know some people in the chat have already mentioned it as well.
Right.
Yes. So
Well, now it feels like f5
definitely.
is something to play here.
Definitely. And this is where it gets fun, Bjorn. This is where it gets
Right.
really fun.
Okay.
F5 is a move you really want to play, and you're going to try to attack on the king side. Okay?
Right.
So you're trying to do F5, and then when you get a pawn to this square, you can either try to open things up by capturing, or in some cases, you can push the pawn onwards and start a pawn storm. Okay?
Okay.
You have to be a little bit careful of F5 of this knight sometimes coming into E6. Just things to be wary of. But
Right.
F5 is generally the move you want to play when white blocks down the pawn structure. Okay? So I, first of all, continued before I went for this F5 move by trying to get my pieces to better squares. So, you know, before we do pawn breaks, we might as well try to get our pieces to better squares. So let's think about the knight. Normally you want to develop your knights before your bishops. Where should that knight be heading? And again, this is a main idea in the King's Indian defense. Let's try to get our pieces to best squares. So that knight on B8, where do you want to move it to?
Well, the d4 square looks great, but it's really hard to get it there, as far as I
Very
can
hard
see.
to get it, yeah. I mean,
So then I would say that c5 looks like a good square.
yes.
Yeah,
let's leave it there. C5 is the right square, because if you get your knight to C5, you pressurize E4. You just got to be careful that you don't get kicked away by B4, because this is what white wants to do. So this is something to bear in mind. But what I played in the game first, I played A5. Okay? Now, why did I play A5, Bjorn? So two main reasons.
Okay, yeah, so you wanted to stop b4, seems like a reason. If your knight is on c5, then he can't push it away anymore.
The main reason, you're just right, is to stop b4. Simple as that.
Okay.
And you're holding up. Remember, white is playing on the queen side, so the whole chess is always about stopping your opponent's ideas, doing your own ideas. Stop, do. So let's just have a look how it goes. Bishop g5 was played by Korchnoi.
Yep.
I gave that one a kick, and he went back to e3. And Korchnoi is trying to say that I've weakened my king side.
Okay,
I'm not sure it's a good idea. So now I continue with knight a6. Okay. He developed bishop d3, so this is kind of normal developing ideas, yeah?
Yep.
Now, there is a reason I'm not going for f5 yet. So I could, of course, think about moving my knight to many different squares and going f5. But this is maybe a little bit high level. But why didn't I play that straight away, which might be an okay plan. But why didn't I play, let's say, knight to e8 with the idea of playing f5 next? And again, everyone in the chat, you are getting a free lesson in the King's Indian Defense by Grandmaster here. I'm not charging you, so you're getting a good deal here, guys. Normally $100 an hour. That's what this is. So try to answer the questions as well in your head. Why didn't I play knight e8 or knight d7 here with the idea of going f5? Which this is a little bit high level, I have to say. Hard if you don't know the opening so well.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you?
Beats me, yeah, you have to tell me, yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the white king. The white king is still in the middle, okay? If I play knight to e8 in this position, it'd be great if I could get f5 in. So if white plays something slow like a3, I get f5 in, and this is what I want, yeah? This is great for black. I'm very happy with this for black. Anyway, yeah?
Yeah.
But because white hasn't castled, white can actually play g4. Now, if white has castled, g4 is a very weakening move.
That's very risky.
Because it weakens his king. But in this position, the king is actually sometimes even going over here.
Right, okay.
And if we play f5 now, he can take with the g pawn, and this can get very risky with rook g1, maybe take here first, rook g1, and it's actually you who's going to get attacked.
Yeah.
Now, if you imagine in this position, the king was on g1, then it's white that's probably going to get attacked, yeah?
Yeah.
So what I tried to do here was wait until white castles, and I want to try to another very thematic move here, and you've always got to think about the pawn breaks, c6. Okay?
Okay, yep.
Now, another reason to play this is you sometimes take on d5. So if white starts playing g4 now, his king might want to go this way, so I'm already ready to open up that area of the board towards his king. Okay, because I want to open up you have to think every area of the board. It's not just one plan that's going to work. Okay, so c6 is a very normal idea, and also other ideas you have sometimes is a4, queen a5 if he goes queenside, for example. This is an idea of John Nunn. Let's just have a look how it develops. Maybe it'll become a bit clearer. So queen d2, attacking my pawn. King h7, okay, defending the pawn.
Right.
And now
I like this because you're on move 11 and you still haven't. All the pieces are still on the board.
You always get
that's what I like.
very exciting positions, Bjorn.
Yeah.
And after castles, I now take on d5, which is okay, because how does he take back? If he takes with the e pawn, well, when I play f5, I'm going to have e4, so he doesn't want to do that. Definitely not. If he takes with the knight, I will capture with my knight, and I've gained the tempo. I can play f5 next move.
Problem.
So Korchnoi took with a c pawn, and now it's time to play f5 because I'm not so worried about g4 because there's kings here. Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to move my knight. Where would you
So
move?
where do you, yeah, exactly. Where do you go with your knight then? I was initially thinking aiming at the c5 square again.
Well, that's what I played.
So
I mean,
e7.
You've also often knight h5 is one of the best because you actually bring the knight to f4. Okay, this is something to also think in mind. This is often the most aggressive way to move the knight, but it can also backfire as well. So in this position, I just play knight d7 because I want this square.
Okay, yeah.
And now I'm ready to play f5. Okay.
Yep.
And if I can play f5, I'm getting my attack going on that side of the board. So Korchnoi played knight ch2, which is a clever idea, because he now actually goes back to the plan I said was bad for white, but in some situations it can work all right. f4.
Oh, okay. Right.
So let's just have a look. So I went knight c5. I tried to win his bishop. Korchnoi loves his bishops. So he went bishop c2. And now, of course, I play f5. Yeah?
Right.
Now I'm threatening f4, and this is why Korchnoi decided he had to move his knight out the way, because if I get f4ing, I can get this kind of attack going against the king, yeah?
Right, yeah.
So he played f4 himself. And now I took on f4, and this is where your bishop can often come to life as well. This is more middle game. It's not so important. We've gone on the basic principles, but he went rook takes f4, and I'll just show you. I took on e4, rook e1, rook f1. I took on f4, and now my other knight came in. So you get these kind of positions often, Bjorn. Very messy, very crazy, pieces everywhere. It opens up. It might look quite boring at the start, but it always opens up later on.
Right. Yeah.
So don't worry, this position now, people in the chat, this is not really the opening position, but I'll just show you a little bit more, then we'll go on to the next game. It's not so relevant to the opening. Remember, Bjorn doesn't know anything about the opening, so we're doing it quite slowly today. It's a lot to get in like an hour and a half or 2 hours, Bjorn, or however long we are. But now, after bishop takes a4, okay, I took that one, and now I get the bishop pair. Quite nice bishops coming in. My opponent moved back, and now I want to get my last piece into the game. And now Korchnoi is on the defensive, and we can come in. You can see my pieces now are flying into the position, yeah?
Right. In this position, you're just better.
I'm just better here, that's right. Bishop f4, and another piece flies in. So I'm a lot better here.
Yeah.
King h2, and this is even strong, because my pieces are so good. I want to get my rook in. I'm not afraid. And also, knight takes e1 is just winning. If queen takes, knight takes, because of his rook. So g4, queen f1, and he took here. But after this move, he resigned, because I'm threatening checkmate, and I'm threatening knight takes rook. So this is under 30 moves. Down you go, Korchnoi. so that was nice. No, Korchnoi resigned in this position. So that was that. So that was just a little taster of the opening. Okay.
And how did he react against?
He's famously not a very good loser, but I was actually told that if he doesn't insult you, you should be more insulted, because
so this was the guy, yeah.
he only insults people he respects, and he didn't insult me. So I think that basically sums up sums up what he thought. He didn't insult me. Thank you for the subscription, anyone who I've missed saying thank you to who's just subscribed. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next game, and this is one of my most fun games in the King's Indian that anyone's ever played, and this is in one of the main lines, Bjorn. So let's just go through it. Try not to look at the moves.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're just going to get this position, which is the main starting position here. Yeah?
Yep.
And now Korchnoi played h3. white played bishop e2 here. And what can you play here?
So we should look at e5 again.
Yes, e5. E5 was what.
And it still works.
Played. It still works. This is a slightly better version for white.
I don't think we actually talked about why it works. In case anybody was wondering about the tactics, but
very, very good point. What I mean, white can take in. I think John Bartholomew gives this line.
Right.
This is not generally something to worry about too much. But if white ever takes this pawn, this is actually a mistake. This is actually a mistake. White should not take this pawn. I'm just going to get a water, but I mean, hopefully you can see why now. But I'll just give you a minute to just calculate why. Yeah. So what should black here? And okay, I mean, maybe black's not better, but black's at least equal after the next sequence of moves.
So you can take back the e4 pawn with a knight and attack the...
And this bishop is like such a good bishop in this opening. And, you know, you're actually taking on c3 in some positions. And if knight takes here, this kind of position is at least okay for black, you know?
Yep.
It's at least okay. So your general tactic is if white ever takes on e5, you take on e4. And this nearly always works out okay.
Yeah.
Now, there are some lines here, Bjorn, where white can play quite boring in this position. Like bishop g5 is a very tricky line, for example, because he's trying to go knight here. I mean, one line you've got to be very careful of if we go back in this position. If he doesn't go bishop e2, but goes bishop g5 straight away, e5 is losing now because this bishop is so, you know, it's
pinned. Okay,
you just watch out for that. But we won't look at this for now. Let's just go for the main line. We've got quite a lot to cover. Yep. Now, the main line is white just waits for one move, castles kingside. So try to guess the moves now. Try to guess the moves. See how you get on. Black to play now. Another thing I would like to say, Bjorn, as well, which I often play this, so does Luke McShane and Gawain Jones. If you're ever worried about playing e5, takes, and this, something that I sometimes do depending on my mood, I often play knight d7, as in the black line.
Right, exactly, just to avoid this.
And I go
it's the same reason in the black line, just to avoid the queen exchange.
It's a very like a black line, but you've got a bishop on a better square.
Right. Yeah.
So this is like black line. So you can play like this. Maybe this is more your style.
But
But the unfortunate thing about this is your knight's maybe not on the best square on d7.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So e5 is the main move, and let's say after castles, what can you play here? What should you do now?
Okay, so...
Hey, mate, I'm just going to go back. Tomato Juice just said in that last line, and I forgot to answer this, so I do apologise. What if knight takes f7? And I know this is okay for black, but I've just got to work out. I've just got You've asked me a question I don't know off the top of my...
Well, you can take on f2.
I think you just win a piece. You take here, check, and you take here, you're a piece up. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that was easy. That was an easy one for me. Okay, so what should black play here then?
So I would look at just rook e8, obviously, but maybe that's a bit slow. But I would also look at c6, just because that's what I'm used to playing. And it stops this d5. Well, it doesn't stop it, but
c6 is a move.
That's a move I would look at, and then I don't know. Those are the kind of two moves.
Well, the main move, and this is a move I definitely think you should play if you get this position, is knight to c6.
Okay, right.
Because what you're trying to do, you're trying to get white to play d5, so you get that pawn structure we discussed before, where you can have your fun with f5, yeah?
You want him to play that. Okay.
Now, just one thing I want to do, actually. Let's just open a Word document. I don't want you seeing the moves later on. Don't look at the moves, Bjorn.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Can you cover them? Or should I cover them?
No, it's covered now.
Okay, good. Right, so after knight c6, you're actually putting pressure on d4. This is the main thing. The point with the king's in defense is it's actually much more aggressive than the black line, because rather than sort of sitting there and waiting, in the king's in defense, you're always trying to do something, you know? So,
right,
I mean, here you're trying to do something with this bishop lined up. You're trying to really annoy white here. And And for example, bishop e3 is a move here, but what might be a good reply against that one, Bjorn?
It's funny. This is black line. You're saying you're not trying to do anything, but that's also kind of what the opponent falls into, because it goes maybe 12 moves and he's just thinking, oh, he's not doing anything, and then it kind of explodes in some of the lines.
It does. It explodes. I mean,
suddenly becomes really, really aggressive.
I mean, most openings will jump to life later on.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex is saying, I feel like the question always is how to get the pieces around the king's defense. Hopefully, we're going to explain that as we see a bit more. I mean, we've discussed it a little bit. We're talking a bit more about pawn structures at the moment, but hopefully, you'll get some ideas where the pieces go. For example, Rule Star has already got the right move against here. Knight g4 is often a good move. Yeah.
Right,
because your bishop opens up here. And if bishop here, you can always play f6. This is absolutely fine, because you're going to play f5 later anyway.
Okay,
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the main move after knight c6 is d5. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Now, of course, you have to lose a bit of time with the knight, but now we're going to just try checkmate. This is where it gets fun, Bjorn. You know, in all these positions, whenever you get this pawn structure, you literally, your plan is to go f5 and checkmate.
So whenever d5, we're just saying hooray, and then
you just try
just win.
Yeah,
okay. I like it.
You just try to checkmate. It's simple.
Okay.
So the main move now is knight e7, because you kind of later on might want to bring this knight to checkmate. Let's just keep it easy, yeah?
Okay,
Let's just, later on. And now, what? Let's say, I mean, okay, well, knight d2 was now played, and this is for a reason, as we're going to see later on. Often the knight comes here to attack here. What should you play now, Bjorn? So
can I just say it feels to me a bit cramped? Is that a correct feeling, or?
Yeah, I mean, certainly no more cramped than the black line. I'd say.
No.
I'd say you actually get a lot more cramps in the black line.
That's true.
And
sometimes get really cramped there. So
the thing with this position, it is. I mean, it is a closed position, as we say, but it has so much potential, and it won't stay closed forever. And yes, it is closed, but you can build up a great attack. Because it's closed, you have a bit of time to build up your attack.
Okay.
And it does seem a little bit cramped, but because you've got this important pawn break, that just opens the whole game up. It will open the whole game up. So what is the pawn break, first of all, Bjorn, you need to play now?
So it's f5 we're aiming for.
Okay, so what do you need to do in order to do that?
We need to move the f6 knight.
So where do you want to move that one?
I don't want it to move it to h5.
In this case, because now it can be taken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose time moving my king and moving it back. That doesn't seem right.
Thank you, Mort, for subscribing.
Obviously, d7 is a square. It does shut down the bishop. Not sure if that's important or not.
I think it's one of these two squares. I mean,
one of those. Okay.
There is some argument it goes here, because remember, you got to stop your opponent's idea.
Yeah.
And on here you're fighting against that. But the main move is e8, because you keep your bishop open, and it just seems a little bit more. This defends a lot of squares where white's going to attack. So knight to e8.
And the bishop is helpful playing f5, I guess.
The bishop is helpful because sometimes you might want to support that one with the bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to have some fun. And this is a game between two very strong grandmasters, by the way. And now b4, because
this is all normal so far.
Normal. This is very normal. This is main line. Main line. One of the main lines that grandmasters play for 50, 100 years.
Okay.
And with b4, remember, we must think what white's trying to do. What's white trying to do with that one?
He's trying to play c5.
Now, this is not a Naka game. You can actually see the name of the players here. Hungarian Fratnik with white, who's a grandmaster, one of the, I think, strongest Hungarian grandmasters, and I believe Croatian Svitjan grandmaster with black. So what do you play here, Bjorn? Next move easy. Let's do it.
Just get on with f5.
Of course. Now it might look cramped. So now white gets on with it with c5. Okay, and now we got to think. Now we got to think what you do next. So this is quite important.
So I would take. That's my instinct.
Take what?
Oh yeah, that's true. I would take the e pawn. But
okay, now that's not a bad idea. Now, first of all, someone's suggesting a5 here. A5 might be a move, but the one rule I would say again, and I want to stick to that, we're just trying to checkmate, and let's not play moves on the area of the board where we're weakest. We are weakest on the queen side, so let's just get on with trying to checkmate.
Maybe it's a stronger attack to play f4.
Now, you've got to decide whether in these positions you play f4 or take on e4. This is very important. Now, there's another little rule here, which I like to say, and that is you normally want to play f4 and white's played f3.
Okay.
If you play f4 here...
Yeah, I see now that I can't really get my pieces into the attack now.
I mean, this is still playable, but it's very... You want to try to play h5, g5, g4 if you're going to do this, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
But the problem is it's quite hard to do this because this bishop kind of controls everything. And it's a bit unflexible. And this is the main thing. You can play f4, but why rush that move? Because the best move here is actually to bring the knight now back to f6. Because you're going towards the king. And you might also want to take on e4, as you've mentioned here. So let's say white plays a4 now. You might even here want to take on e4. And if knight takes, play like knight f5. And this is something that Bobby Fischer used to do quite often, to put the knight on d4. And you play with your pieces in the center of the board here, yeah?
Yep.
And this is quite active. So what white often does is play f3. And again, we're just trying to build up little rules. And as soon as f3 is played, you now play f4. Always play f4 here, okay?
Okay.
And this is a position that Korchnoi used to play a lot with white. But if you look at any Garry Kasparov's games in the King's Indian, he won so many games of this. And now, Bjorn, you get this pawn structure, which is a really important pawn structure. You might not get this when you play Blitz a lot, Bjorn, but we've got to start with the main ones and move our way back.
Yep.
And the idea here is to literally go g5, g4, checkmate.
Wow.
Yep. Does that look like fun? It's quite.
That looks like fun. Yeah,
It's quite blocked, but I think you'll enjoy this, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's now see what happened in the game. Knight c4. White is trying to do some damage on our queen side, yeah?
Yeah.
So we go g5, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Why not? a4.
Oh, yeah.
White is really coming on a queen side, yeah? But now
it's like you say sometimes. If he succeeds, he might get a queen. If we succeed, we win the game.
Exactly. And now the next move is why we can see our knight came to e7. I said we want to bring it towards the king. Let's just put all our pieces towards the king. And we can't. Sometimes we have to take a little defense and attack. But the next move, I mean, I've kind of given it away there. Well, where does that knight go now, Bjorn? Just send it towards the king.
Towards the king and not the square it will be taken. I guess g6 is a good square then.
Yes. I mean, we're just sending them towards the king.
Right.
But after bishop a3, white is building up pressure here. And we can't just continue without thinking about an opponent's move ever in chess. And the next maneuver, whenever d6 gets weak, is a key maneuver in the King's Indian defense middle game. And the next maneuver is a way to defend, but also improve your pieces. It's very hard to find, Bjorn, unless you know it already. But when this pawn is getting a little bit weak, white wants to go b5 and take this pawn. We can't collapse totally. The next maneuver is very nice to do. Now, knight to e8 is not logical, Rancid, because we want that knight to support g4. If we go g4 straight away, white might just take it, and we haven't quite got enough to take it back yet. So we've got to be a little bit more. We want to play h5. If we play h5, then after b5, we're already threatened here. So it's time to play a very important maneuver. And
okay.
I mean, some of you got it right. Well done, Alex, Jack in chat. Well done, Q's Quest. But Bjorn, do you want to have a go at trying to find a way we can support this pawn? It's a hard maneuver.
I'm glad it wasn't knight back against.
It's not. No, we don't want to go back. We don't do that in this opening.
I think that knight is getting tired.
It is getting tired. Yes. Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at stuff like a6 or something just to see what happens then. But
b5
it doesn't really do much now.
I'll tell you because it's a hard one. This one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. A very important maneuver is rook f7. And there's four ideas with this. And idea number one is your bishop comes to f8.
Okay.
And defend like that. And when your bishop goes to f8, your rook comes to g7, and it lines up against the king. So when we play our break g4, our rook is going to be brilliantly placed.
Right.
So it's a defensive yet attacking idea.
Yeah.
The other idea is white's two squares he's going to try to attack us on is d6 and c7. At some point, white might go rook c1, queen c2, knight b5, and come in here with a knight, yeah? So our rook gives a little bit more support there. Now, in the game, white did play b5, and we can now, bishop f8 is a main move, but instead now black decided to gain a little bit of time by taking on c5, only now.
Okay, right.
Because you can't get a pawn coming here, and now timing is very important. Okay, white took back on c5, and now we should get on with our g4. So how do we prepare that one? How do we prepare g4? Let's just get on with it, Bjorn. Come on.
H5.
Yeah, you'll like this now. h5, okay? White goes a5. So come on, Bjorn. Forwards, man.
G4.
g4, yay. White goes b6.
You don't want to... let's see if we can...
Now, the next move, again, another important move. And they often say in the Kingsian defense that this piece is your best piece, Bjorn. I just thought I'd throw that in there to confuse you a little bit more.
Yeah, not at all.
Now, the rule to take on c5, by the way, is you don't want to take on c5 and white can take back with a pawn. So in this position, if we took on c5 and white can take with a pawn...
Yeah, that looks scary.
This d6 move, let's say h5, white is getting there a bit quicker.
Yeah.
So in the game, we only want to do it when white has to take with a piece on c5. And the next move here...
I was kind of wondering why you wouldn't take time to play knight f8. Sorry, bishop f8 in these positions at some point.
You can do, but we want to save a tempo, so we could, in this play bishop f8. Yeah, we can do this and just try to wait. But this is one...
because he actually wins a tempo on that.
This is actually a main move, bishop f8, Bjorn, believe it or not.
Okay.
In this position. This move taken on c5 wins us the tempo. And let's just see. Let's just get on with it a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But this structure now is very important to find the right move here, because if your attack doesn't amount to anything, you're going to lose on the queen side.
Right.
You have to check.
Well, you said the white bishop was the...
Yes, it is.
The one, and it only has one square that I can see, so d7.
You might not want to move that now, but it's an important piece.
Oh, okay.
Incredibly important.
Okay. Okay, so when... I would take on f3.
Okay, now this is actually a mistake in this position.
Okay.
Because after, I would say, bishop takes, white is actually very well defended here. And you might be able to get some kind of initiative, but this is not the right way to play. You just have to take my word for that. Even pawn takes, even pawn takes might be okay. Because white might be able to get rook g1 in quickly. This is not the correct move in this particular position. There's a better move than that. Joe's Abaria has the right idea.
G3 doesn't seem right. That just seems to shut everything down.
Okay, well, let's have a look at G3.
Oh, okay, hang on.
So if
maybe
G3,
then the bishop comes to life.
So H3 would be what white wants to do to shut everything down. And now you might be able to see why this could have some fun.
I'm definitely playing this opening. So we take the H3 pawn.
You know what? You can do it here. You can even, or another very important maneuver, you want to get the queen in, is to sometimes move the knight here, and you can prepare this. The knight comes to G5. You're basically taking there, but you might be able to take here straight away. And if pawn takes, what should you play now to back this up?
Well, you can try moving the queen in, maybe.
Yeah, queen here.
Yeah.
And now white can't defend that pawn, because if the king comes here, we see why the knight went to this square.
Right, yeah.
The knight comes here. And this is looking pretty brutal now, yeah?
That's game over.
That's right. So in actual fact, this is why this bishop is so important. Because if you don't have this bishop on the board, let's just imagine that bishop's taken off the board. G3 would always be a mistake, because after H3, there's no way you'll be able to break this down. This is why you need to have this sacrifice, okay?
This is fun, because I was actually thinking about asking you earlier on if the white bishop is kind of your problem piece in this opening, but now it turns out to be kind of the key piece. and suddenly a really good one.
It's actually like the classical Dutch. You leave the bishop here for most of the game, but actually it can be the key piece later on because it will often come to h3. So it has some similarities for those of you who know the classical Dutch with that as well. But let's have a look at the game because it gets fun. Now white goes king h1 because white needs to play bishop here in some positions to defend. Okay?
Yeah.
Because so, for example, you might... A very common tactic here, Bjorn. Let's say white plays, I don't know, a knight b5. That looks, white. What might be a good move potentially here. And this is something Garry Kasparov won many games doing with the next kind of move. Remember, you need to get your queen into checkmate in these positions.
Okay, so queen d7 threatens the piece, but I can't really see how to get it. Oh, okay, maybe just move the knight away and get the piece to h4.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that seems like a better idea.
In this position, even knight d7 might be good, but Garry Kasparov often in these positions would just do something like this.
Oh, okay.
Many
because you can't really take it.
Well, let's say white takes it. Now it's your turn, Bjorn.
So queen h4.
Queen h4, threatening checkmate. Yeah. And if h3, I think you know what to do now. Yeah.
Now we take with the bishop,
and that's why you need this bishop and this position.
And then
you have a big attack. A big attack. Rook f2 is probably forced. We can.
So you can sack something and run away, or?
Well, he might be able to do this, but I can even maybe play knight h4 first here. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
And
okay.
I mean, often, I mean, this is
right.
you have to. There's a lot of calculating you're going to need to do.
Yeah.
But this is why king to h1 is played, because now if we do the same idea, and you come over here, white actually has bishop to g1. Believe it or not, and he defends. Okay, so after king h1, you want to get the queen to h4, but you don't really want to sack a piece now. So what move might be a good way to get the queen over to that square? You need to get that knight out of the way.
Yeah, then I was first looking at knight d7 because you're threatening a piece and getting the queen in. Yeah. But obviously then you block your bishop in.
Yeah, and remember, you want to send all your pieces towards the king.
Right, so...
But maybe sacrificing is a bit too much here because you haven't got force win, but still, you want to keep them on the king side.
Yeah, so knight h7 looks...
Knight h7.
And then we can send it to
because
g5 later on.
Yeah, exactly. And now queen here is becoming strong, yeah? So now white in the game played d6. White just keeps on coming.
Okay.
Okay, now you better keep on coming.
Queen in. Queen h4.
Yeah. And now h3 is obviously going to lead to checkmate, yeah?
Yeah, so bishop back.
And now an amazing move here that black played, because it looks maybe that white's defended.
Yep.
But there's an amazing move here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna find it.
Bjorn, you can find it.
Oh well, can you play queen h3 or no? That was too much, maybe.
Not quite, but you got the right idea.
That'd be fun.
Now I have to say, by the way, if anyone's using a computer at home while I'm doing this, don't trust the computer. I'm showing many attacking ideas at the moment, and they might not all be entirely correct, but the King's Indian is more important to get these ideas stuck in your head to learn it. So you do want to break through on h3, Bjorn.
What about bishop h3 then?
Yeah, and
better than sacking the queen, I guess.
Now the first question is, if pawn takes h3, I haven't worked this out. What are you going to play there? Well, I guess just queen takes. Yeah?
Queen takes, yeah.
Okay, so black now white took on b7. So look, white is getting quite scary.
Oh, this is the game?
Yes, this is the game. What did black now play? This is a great question to everyone. Let me just point, if white takes here, which he probably should have done, after queen takes, g2 is a very hard move to stop.
Yeah.
So white has to give his rook up with rook f2, and this is actually white's best defensive try. Because he's got bishop f1, but he didn't play this. He took on c7, and what should black now play? Black can now force checkmate, Bjorn.
I'm thinking bishop takes g2.
Okay, king takes.
King takes. Pawn takes g2.
Okay, so this is a question to everyone. White can now force checkmate. If anyone gets it before Bjorn, they're doing great. Don't just tell me one move. One move's not going to help. You have to tell me the variation all the way to checkmate. It is a legendary sequence, this one. I've actually done videos on my YouTube channel on this before, but the reason I like it is one of my favourite ever tactics, the one we see here. Favourite ever tactical sequences.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, it's a hard one, but every move, I'll give you a clue.
Every move is a check.
Yes, every
Okay.
move. That will make
So
it
then
easy.
I start with pawn takes, king takes, and
Every move's
a check. You say, really?
Yes, really, really. Yeah.
So,
Asbalika is close, but you're just one move off because of king h1 in that position. You got the right idea. Every move's a check, and I tell you what, this knight is very important.
You have to get the knights in somehow, and just okay. So bishop takes. It's really hard, this one, for me.
It's hard,
takes.
but it's a lot of fun.
So I have 2 checks.
Well done, Cheesehead, for getting it.
I think
Well
I
done.
think actually queen h3, and I think you have to take the queen, and then you get in with a knight g5 check, and you have to go back, and knight h4 check. And now
Ask Alex Jack. In that position, king to g1 is a move that white can play. So you kind of nearly got the right idea, Alex Jack, but you're not quite there. So you're very close, very close. And JS1000, I agree with you. It's one of the most beautiful sequences to give checkmate I've ever seen, and it's a good way to get you tempted with the King's Indian defense, Bjorn.
okay, so I think
Go for it, Bjorn.
bishop takes g2.
Okay, let's go. So white
King
has no
takes.
choice. Yes.
Queen h3 check.
Are you mad?
King takes. Have
Wait,
to take,
what?
otherwise it's mate with
G2 is checkmate.
g2 mate. So has to take.
Yeah, yeah. Next.
Knight g5 check.
Yeah. And where does white
King
have to go?
have to go back.
Yeah,
Only one square. And knight h4 check.
yeah,
Have to go back.
yeah.
And g2 is mate.
Whoa!
And I retire.
I retire.
I'm done with chess.
Well done, Bjorn. Well done. Well done. I mean, if you checkmated like that, you would retire.
Yeah, I would retire. Like, honestly.
I mean, it's a nice little technique, and again, I mean,
Solved chess, I would say, and then.
yeah, I know.
Wow,
And,
that's beautiful.
I mean, unfortunately, this is just one line of the King's Indian defense. But
Okay.
and I don't think we're going to teach you the whole of the King's Indian defense today. But
No.
we can keep trying.
That was great motivation, then, at least. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to show you another game now,
Okay, yeah.
which is a game between Gelfand with white and Hikaru Nakamura with black. And I'm going to get you to guess the moves again because we just learnt this. So let's see how much you just remember. And I suggest that everyone else does this as well in the chat. So we're sticking at the moment, guys, with the main line, and the main line is this position here. Yeah.
So Nakamura is like the current champion of the kids in defense, or
He doesn't really play it anymore. He used to play it.
Oh, okay.
He used to play it about 4 years ago regularly.
Okay,
And he's
right.
had some great victories with it. I would say look at the games of Gwaine Jones at the moment, but the best people to look at, if you search King's Indian Defence on Chess Games as a free site, Bobby Fischer and Garry
Okay.
Kasparov. Bobby Fischer and Garry
Okay.
Kasparov. Just look at those two. All you have to do is literally search King's Indian Defence, Kasparov. Just go
Right.
through some games. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, this next game is also good. So you tell me quickly Black's moves, Bjorn. You're gonna have to be quick now.
D6,
Okay, good. Knight to f3 played.
castles,
Castles. Bishop e2 played. We'll go main line this time, like we did before.
E5,
Yep. And now Gelfand castled.
and then I have to think.
Come on. Pressure.
Knight C6,
Very nice. Pressurizing the center.
right,
Gelfand played d5.
and Knight E7.
Very good. And now
Okay.
white prepared himself to play f3 again, knight d2, like we just saw.
And knight either d7 or e8.
We like
d7.
e8. We like
Okay.
e8. Yeah,
We like
e8
e8. Okay.
because we don't want to block the bishop. And now
Okay.
b4 was played again, so now we can get on with it.
f4. f5, I mean. f4.
Asperlika is saying Pickett versus Kasparov is very beautiful. That's a very nice game. If I'm correct in thinking, it was an amazing Queen b8 game. But yeah, there's many great games. Okay, now c5. What do we do next? This is where you've got to be a little bit tricky. Do you play f4, yes or no?
No, because he hasn't played f3.
Correct.
So...
Start bringing them in.
So, oh yeah, so we go back with the knight. Knight f6.
Because we've got our f pawn to the square.
Right.
We want to pressurize. We want to start moving it towards the king. And now, if it doesn't play f3, you can seriously think about taking on e4 here.
Right. Okay.
You know, this is definitely a serious continuation. I think also after a4, I think Mark Hedman, who's an English grandmaster, a master in the King's Indian defense, also told me that bishop h6 is not a bad move. Because when you get this pawn structure, this bishop is not particularly good unless you can open up. And this move, trying to take the knight and then win a pawn here, is actually another reason. You know, this is actually maybe something to consider in this position. Just a little extra there. So f3 was played, and now that f3 is played, what do you do?
Now we play f4.
Now, I have to say, if you're learning the King's Indian defense with us today, and this is the same with Bjorn, you'll probably go and play 100 games of chess, and you might not get this at all. This particular variation. Yeah. That is what happens in tough openings, but you've got to start with the main line. And then we're going to learn the other lines at other moments. But you've got to start with this one. You might not get it, but it's still the most important line and it gives you a lot of feeling for the whole opening in general. So that's why we're starting with this one. Yes, this is an entry drug.
Right, exactly.
This is the marijuana of the chess world. King's Indian defense line. Yes. Okay, so now knight c4 was played. Come on, Bjorn. On we go.
Yeah, should we just play g5 right away? Yeah.
Of course we do. And now a4.
Is it time to be careful? No, that was the... Okay, so h5.
Yeah, h5 is okay, but you maybe want to get ready for bishop f8 first. You know. And,
so this was the time to then maybe play rook f7.
Well, the knight's going to be in the way.
Just play the knight first. Knight g6 then.
Yeah, knight g6, and you know what? I quite like. I like this knight g6 move as well because somehow it looks nice to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it frees up a lot of squares.
Yeah.
That's
it's a good move.
It's definitely better at that square.
Yeah. Now bishop a3 was played, getting ready.
Now we're playing rook f7, which was important.
And why did you play rook f7? What? Tell me a couple of ideas with this move.
Well, you want to free the f8 square for the bishop, so you can protect d6. And the other idea is to bring the rook to g7 and support your attack against the king.
And what other square does this rook defend?
Well, it depends
on the queen side.
C-pawn?
Yes, this square here. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so now b5, and now that white's played b5, you can play bishop f8, but there's another move here that we saw in the last game, and this is the move that Hikaru played now as well.
Okay, so he took on c5, I think.
Yes, to gain a tempo.
And then play h5.
Yes, getting on with it. Gelfand went a5 again.
So is this the exact same so far?
It is exactly the same.
Okay, and then we play g4.
Yeah, why the hell not? And now b6 was played, exactly the same.
Right. And we actually played g3.
Yep, you can only play g3 because of what piece that you have.
Because of the bishop on c8.
Now, by the way, people are asking, do I have...
Because
do I have some videos on this on chess.com? Yeah, if you're a premium member on chess.com, I have a video series on the King's Indian defense. I am repeating some of the same material today because I'm not sure Bjorn's seen it, and because I want to talk through the moves in a personal way. But when you watch this, you can go and look at if you're a premium member of chess.com, you can go and see the videos there. So yeah, now in this position, because of this bishop, now king h1 was played, and in the last game we saw this knight h7 move, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, there was a slight problem with that beautiful variation, I'm afraid, as there often is in... And the problem was that white could have defended with that rook f2 move.
Okay.
So Hikaru instead played bishop f8 now, because he's trying to get rid of the bishop on c5. Why is he trying to get rid of the bishop on c5, Bjorn?
Well, that could come back and defend on g1.
Correct. And if that bishop can't there, then this is going to be a winning idea at some point. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So white played d6. Whoa.
Okay.
Now the next move might not be so easy to find, so I'm just going to tell you the next move.
Okay. Yeah.
He just played a takes b6. Sometimes you need to take a timeout. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just you need to look at both areas of the board, and here.
Well, it's if you take back with the pawn, you take the rook, and you take with the white queen, then it's easier to get that d pawn, is it?
Yes, you can just win the d pawn.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So the idea that Hikaru is trying to play is he's just trying to do this, just win the pawn and then get on with the attack. So that's why Gelfand played bishop g1 now, and he's just relying on his tactics. And now you've got to think of ways to attack. And we saw knight h7 before. Now there are other ways to attack.
And it still feels like you can win a pawn, but maybe I'm wrong.
With this one? Yeah, well, the thing is, white's kind of giving up this
quite
pawn.
Tricky, yeah.
If you take here, knight takes here, bishop to c4 comes. And all of a sudden, you're playing on the wrong area of the board, Bjorn. Forget about that. You're a King's Indian defense player now, man.
Exactly. So
stop playing on the queen side. I know he.
So get the knight out of the way again, then, to get the queen in.
Well, you could get the knight out of the way, but remember, this bishop here is quite a good defensive idea. Hikaru, I just want to show you a different attacking technique. Now tried knight to h4. And what is his threat behind that move? Let's say pawn takes c7 is played. I actually need a toilet break. What would Hikaru have played in this position? I'm just going to use a little boy's room.
Okay, I'm going to just think while Simon is gone. As I don't see any checks, I would have to do something with my queen. And it's not protected at the moment, as far as I can see. My natural instinct is then just to take the pawn, but that doesn't look like the attack Simon is going for. Can you take the h2 pawn? No. Take off the queens first. Take off the queens and play bishop c5. It's hard.
Okay, now
I must say I haven't really found the the solution chat either. So
don't look at the chat.
There might be people there who has it.
Now, what move was what was one of your star pieces in the last game, Bjorn?
The bishop.
Okay.
My conclusion was that my queen is under attack and I don't have any checks. Oh, I'm threatening mate if I go to. Oh, that'd be nice. Bishop h3 again threatens mate. Aha, nice one. I knew there was something more aggressive.
That looks like a fun move, yeah?
That's fun, yeah.
You're threatening to take here. If he takes here, you checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah? Bishop h3 is actually very strong. I actually remember, just going back, when I analysed this position myself with a Grandmaster friend, I actually got to this position. I was thinking maybe you could play pawn here. And then if pawn takes here, I thought you could play pawn here. I was getting very excited about this idea. This is like my novelty, by the way, people, if anyone's interested. Then if white gets a second queen and there's two queens up, we can take on g2, go knight here, and then do this. That's my little secret novelty there. Push Harry. Look at Harry. Harry's checkmated.
Quite cool to win against when your opponent has two queens on the board.
I know. So that was my little novelty. But we'll just have a look at a couple more moves here.
Yep.
White played this so he could go bishop to f1. Okay,
yeah.
And now Hikaru just went boom, straight in. Yeah?
Wow.
And the idea of this is he doesn't mind giving up a piece because he's got the rook coming to this square and he's just getting on with it. You just get on with it, yeah?
Yep.
So now D takes c7, saying, please exchange queens, please, please. So what did Hikaru now play in this position? I'll give you a clue. He didn't exchange queens.
Yeah, exactly. I'm guessing he didn't exchange queens. And again, I don't see any checks, and this time it feels too much to go bishop h3, I think.
Well,
oh, maybe you can. Can you take the rook?
No interaction was wordy. I agree.
You can actually take the rook, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Knight?
You can.
Because you're still threatening mate.
Yes, that's right. And I can see lots of people are trying to find the right moves, and there's a many. Well, I mean, knight h4 is one idea, but why not take a rook?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not take a rook? You might as well take a rook, because again, you've got the g2 idea as the checkmate idea.
And if you take back, you're just material up, are you?
Yeah, well, queen takes e1 was played, and Hikaru just kept attacking. So it's all about tempo. When you're playing the King's Indian, these attacks, it's about tempo, even if you lose material.
Queen h3.
Well, he could have gone trying to get the queen in
h3.
sorry,
yeah, right.
But he's but instead, as Molly Mole has said, why not, he played g2, Bjorn. And the idea of this one is he gets the rook to g7 with check, and he just wants to keep threatening checkmate.
There's a lot about tempo here.
Tempo. And after king h1, he left his queen here for another move with that secret piece. So what did he do here, Bjorn?
Bishop h3 threatens mate again.
And this is why he's given up the pawn, to get all these tempo in.
Right. Yeah.
This is a big threat, mate.
Wow.
So white now to play bishop f1, and now we have the star move. Who can see the star move there?
Rook takes g1 seems interesting.
Quirl's Quest has got it. Quirl, amazing. Don't look at the chat, Bjorn, but well done to Quirl's Quest, who's found the right move. And this is a stunning move, this one, and this is why I wanted to show this game for the next move. Now remember, this is a tactical position. We can, well, if we take the pawn back, we're going to lose our bishop. We can try taking on f1. That would be a much better move, and then take the pawn, which is okay. But there's an even stronger move here, because Hikaru is just attacking. And one reason I love this game is he just keeps on coming forwards and forwards and forwards.
Yeah, so, I was thinking rook takes g1, but
okay,
and then queen d4 check.
Okay, so what are you going to do if the king goes back to h1 there then?
Yeah, that was.
Need a follow up.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
Yeah, the next move is quite a special move.
No,
I have to say. Now I'll give you a clue. You want to divert that bishop, don't you, away from these two squares, yeah? At the moment, that bishop is covering these two squares. So
okay. Queen d3.
Oh yes. Imagine playing that move. Would you give up chess again? Boom.
Yeah.
And of course, well done for everyone who has found that move. It's just an amazing move, because as well as trying to deflect the bishop, so if bishop takes queen, bishop g2 is checkmate.
Right. Yeah.
You also create a threat. And what's the main threat here, Bjorn, that black is trying to do?
Queen takes f3 check.
Big check.
And mate
yes.
to come.
So if bishop takes h3, you can go queen takes f3, and it's checkmate next move here.
Right. Yeah.
So this queen d3 move was basically the winning move, and it ended up being. I'll show you a couple more moves. White tried. White can't defend this, Bjorn. I mean, you can try if you want, but there's no way to defend this position now for white. Remember, white is actually even material down here.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And white tried knight takes e5 to attack the queen to defend the pawn. And what is the correct move for black, or the correct sequence in this position, Bjorn? MSU 105, you're right. White did go knight takes e5, but black, nice idea. You still, again, I mean, you wanted a tactical opening, Bjorn.
Well, you can always go. Now we can go rook takes g1 and. I think.
But after king takes?
Queen d4 check.
Okay, but then you might lose
and just win material.
Well, you might lose your bishop on h3 at the end, so it's not so clear. You're actually losing the exchange there, maybe. There's a better way to do it.
Right.
And again, some of you got it in the chat, so well done to Joe's Baria for finding the correct move as well. Bishop c5 has been suggested. That's an interesting suggestion from Alexandra. But maybe white can play bishop takes bishop then. That's an interesting move. I forgot about the bishop on f8. But there's an even better way. There's a simple way of doing this. Well, I say simple. It's not a very simple position, is it? But Bjorn, you did want an interesting opening, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we'll hear it. Welcome to the
Very excited about chess again.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. You want to, you know, everyone when you're learning, the best way to learn is to be excited about what you're learning. So,
yeah, exactly.
That's the case here. So, okay, I'll show you. You can actually just play bishop takes bishop still. And well done to everyone. Got this because yeah. Yep. So white has to take that one, and now very simply.
Oh, okay. So now we just
take this one, and we're a rook up here.
Yeah.
So this is quite an easily winning position now, being a rook up, with the attack, with some threats, and this should be enough to win.
Right.
At this level. Now, Bjorn, we've already done an hour and a half. I mean, unbelievable. I don't know if you want some more. What you want to do, if you want to call it a day for day. It's a little. We have to call this an introduction to the King's Indian Defence, won't we? But I mean, do you need to go? Do you want me to do a little roundup?
No, I can do half an hour more.
Okay, cool. So I think what we should do now, we've looked at a couple of games. I'm now going to just. And this will really confuse you, but I'm going to just show you as many lines as I can think of and what you should do quickly. Okay?
Okay. Excellent.
So I will put this video up on YouTube afterwards.
Yep.
So you can go back to that, but you now know some of the pawn structures. And today we're only going to be concentrating on not like bishop f4s or the other lines. We're only going to be mainly concentrating on the main line position, which is this position here, okay? Yep. So we're sticking with this one. Now, what lines can white play here? Well, we've looked at knight to f3, yeah?
Yep.
Now, knight to f3 is called the classical variation, Bjorn, and it's the main line, King's Indian line, where white simply tries to develop and does things we've seen already. Yep. Now, there are sidelines with this, like after castles. White can do some other stuff. But what other moves does white have as well as knight to f3? Well, he can try f4, which is the 4 pawns attack. And this is one of the most aggressive ways to play. And I used to actually play this way as white, but then I went off the idea quite quickly. Now, against f4, white simply wants to go knight to f3. And this is where this is the only line really where things are a bit different. You can try to play e5. Later on, but white's got very good control over e5. So first of all, you should castle. I mean, you want to get the king safe. And now white plays knight to f3. Yeah.
Yep.
And it looks quite scary, right?
Yeah.
Because white's got this pawn here, but on the plus side for black, this pawn on f4, it can kind of loosen white's position as well. This bishop's trapped in. This square's a little bit weak. White's a little bit weaker on this diagonal now. Yeah, so it can backfire. It can backfire. By going forwards too much, it can backfire. And in this position, trying to play e5 is one way to play, but I don't believe it's the best way to play. Only against f4, but it's got more control here. In this position, you need to go to a secondary plan, and this is where I said I'm going to confuse you, but obviously we're adapting to what white's playing. You can't just sit here. You do need to break. So what other break might you want to play in this particular line, which is called the 4 pawns attack? So what do you want to do here? Remember, you have to try to keep breaking out. Keep breaking out. In
c5 looks like a break.
Correct. In this particular,
very often is for black. So
totally correct. And in this position, you want to play c5 because your other break doesn't work. Now, this is I wouldn't recommend this in the other lines because we'll stick with the e5 thing. Now, if white takes on c5, what should you do here? And this is, again, a very common idea. And this can get you some very good results if you know the next move. But it's something, again, not so obvious. Because here we don't really want to swap queens. We can do that. It's probably okay. But there's a better move than going pawn takes pawn. Pawn Monsieur, well done for finding the move. You obviously know the opening well. And I think D. Nikas has the right idea as well. So what is the move here?
I can go Queen A5.
Yes, Queen A5 is a great move. And what is your idea behind Queen A5?
Well, if he takes, I wanted to play Rook D8.
There's an even better move. If he takes on D6, Black has a stronger move than Rook D8. What is Black's main idea in this position, guys? If it keeps...
you can maybe you can take on E4.
Yes, you take on E4.
Right.
And now you can even take here, and basically just Rook E8 is actually very good. We can just simply play this. White's king is in a world of pain here. You might be 2 pawns down, but this is the kind of position that King's Indian defense players will come to love. This bishop is particularly strong. The rook is going to be good. Pressure against here. The white king is very weak here. This is where White might want to pawn back on F2, because even if he castles here, he's going to get hit, remember, on this diagonal. So this position is very good. So against F4, what you played? Let's go through those moves again. You're Black.
So we castle.
Knight to F3.
And C5.
Why'd you play C5 and not E5 in these positions?
Because he has a very strong hold on E5.
Correct. So that's what happens if he takes there. Now, if he pushes forwards, which I think is one of the main lines, what should you play now? And again, you have to play quite actively in these positions. Now, just call me Remco is saying these positions all look super interesting, but I hate to be 2 pawns down. You're probably playing the wrong opening then. You're probably playing the wrong...
I would love it.
I mean, you've got to be fearless to play the King's Indian defence. And I understand where you're coming from. It is scary to be 2 pawns down, but that's maybe why you should play it, to get out your comfort zone and try something new. So, but after pawn to D5, you need to try to open the position up more here. We haven't really managed to do that. And Grizu has the right idea. You know, this is more like a Benko, Benoni kind of position, where you could argue White's pawn should not be on F4, because F4 is actually not a good square for the pawn. But I'd lost a number of games in this position with the white pieces against Grandmaster, again, an expert in the King's Indian defence, Mark Hebden. So I kind of know the right plan that Black should play here. So any ideas here, Bjorn?
I'm thinking E6 or Rook E8 to prepare it, but
E6.
Maybe right away.
E6 is correct. Yeah, E6. And now White has 2 options. He either takes here or he doesn't take here. If he takes here, you can capture back with either piece. We're a King's Indian defence player, so we're trying to play as actively as possible. So let's go for the most active move, and that is developing a piece of bishop takes.
Okay, yeah.
Now we do have some weak squares here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because, White can try to take control of this. Our pawn is weak, but we have great activity. Our knight also
the pieces are coming out now it looks easy to play. So.
Very easy to play. Very easy to play this position. And it's quite fun to play. Black is okay here. Of course, there's more theory to all these lines, but we're just trying to give an overview.
Yeah.
Now, if White doesn't take that one, you should take on D5. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if he takes to the E-pawn, this is where this pawn is not good for White. It gets in the way. And you can try to play for B5, try to play for the E4 square. Knight to E4 is one main idea. Rook E8, knight to E4. So taking this way is much better. And now Mark Hebden always used to play bishop G4 because this bishop's not very good. And he swapped off the bishop here.
Yeah, so in these positions, you might as well just get rid of your bishop.
Might as well get rid of your bishop. And he could play Rook E8, but Mark always played against me a very annoying plan. And he always put his knight on D7 first, and he moved this knight to C7, and then he started going B5 eventually and playing over here. And again, White is okay, but this is again. I think we just leave it there for now because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there. Okay, so we're going back to the main line position, and that's where the 4 pawns attack is played. Now White can also play F3, and this is called the same-ish variation of the King's Indian defense, and this is played also by a number of very strong players, Karpov, players like this as well. And here I think we can go for our plan number one, I'd say, to keep it simple. So what is our plan number one? It's to play one of our pawn breaks. Which pawn break would you go for here?
So e5.
Yeah. First of all, what move?
But
do you
first
play?
castle. First castle, I
First
think.
castle, of course.
Yeah.
And now white generally plays bishop to e3.
And then just e5.
E5, yeah. And this is a little bit different now, this way of playing. But we have the same ideas generally. Yeah, that's why it's nice. Now we are aiming to play probably knight c6. So d5 is the main move. And now what can you play here?
Now I could put a knight on d7, maybe the b knight, or I can move the other knight and just prepare f5.
I mean,
Maybe knight.
Yeah, I would go knight. I would go for f5. I mean, the
Right away.
Bronstein here had a very nice idea, Bjorn, which you might like. I was actually preparing this idea in the British Championships this year against Stephen Gordon. And the idea, you want to play f5 in these positions, because the whole point is, Bjorn, you're not going to remember the theory yet, but when you get d5 played against you, you want to play for f5.
Right.
Now, I would like to
And you
say,
want to do it as soon as possible?
I would say in this position you do, because you can bring the knight to c5, but one reason that worked better in the first game I showed you is because when the knight got here, we had pressure against e4.
Yeah, right.
But in this position, because white's played f3, it loses a bit of its value here. So I would say now let's just go for f5 straight away. And
Okay, so knight e8 then.
well, we could go knight e8. The move I'd recommend you play in this line is the more. So where's the more active square for that? Because we in the other lines we couldn't always.
Because now
it
could because earlier it could just be taken and you would lose a pawn. And...
It can be taken by the bishop, but in this square, in this line, this is a very fun line.
Okay.
Now you ready to see some craziness, Bjorn?
Yes.
Okay. Now Queen d2 is considered white's best move.
Okay. Yeah.
And now, I think let me just make sure I got this right. Oh, hang on. I'm confused myself now. I'm just trying to think. Okay, I might have to even Google this. The Bronstein Queen sacrifice. I'm going to remember this one.
That gave away some of it.
yes, it is. Let me just think. Takes. Oh, how do we do this? Okay. So there, Queen d2, check. d3 takes. Oh yes, I got it. Okay, so in this position, Queen d2 is the main line. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we could play f5 again, but the thing is,
I'm assuming you're playing Queen h4.
yeah, I am. Now I just wanted to show you this very fun line.
Yeah.
Now the thing with f5 in these positions, Bjorn, is that we were playing f4 against f3, weren't we? Remember?
Yeah.
But where is the white king now?
Exactly, it hasn't castled yet.
It hasn't castled. So these ideas of playing f4 are just not as good, because even if we do everything over here, the king might just go that way, and we're looking very stupid.
Yeah, we're relying on sacking a lot of pieces to get through. So.
And this is not a bad move.
Okay.
And I would combine this move. You can play this move, and I've played this move here. But I combine it with a move I played in the first game I showed you against Korchnoi, when I was expecting Korchnoi might castle this way. So let's say knight e2. You want to maybe think about even opening up the other side of the board. So what's another move that I played against Korchnoi? Another pawn move that is certainly worth considering here.
So b5.
b5 is a bit over the top because he has a castle that way. Tomato juice, well done. Yeah.
Well, maybe just c6.
Yes, c6 is this idea where you're opening up both sides.
Okay,
so you're kind of waiting. This is another idea, but let me show you the fun line.
Yep.
And Bronstein came up with Queen h4 check here. Whoa, my chair just went down. And if Bishop f2, then Queen f4 does it is kind of a draw, because if White takes it, we actually take with a pawn, because look at that bishop now. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And we still got f5, and okay, the queens are off the board, but you've still got a very active position. Okay.
Okay.
So this was considered to be a bad move because of g3. And now knight takes g3, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then queen f2. And
Right.
this happened, and people just thought, well, white's just completely winning here, yeah?
Looks like it.
Okay, so what I did, Bronstein, now, I think I got this right. I hope I have got this right. Yes, I think I got this right. What I did now, I hope I have. I'm doubting myself now, but what idea now did Bronstein come up with? I think this is right, but...
Well, you did say a queen sacrifice, but I really can't see it.
Yeah. Well done, Traxler. He obviously loves sacking pieces if he's named after the Traxler Gambit in the Italian game. Shall I show you?
Yeah.
Knight takes bishop. Queen takes queen. Knight takes the other bishop. And you have one pawn and two bishops for the queen.
And you're threatening to win the rook.
You're threatening knight g2, knight here. You have ideas of playing f5 to break it open still. And white doesn't have many breaks. This knight can often come in. And it's a very tricky line. It's just a fun line.
Is this actually good for black, or?
It's playable.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I was going to play this in the British Championships in one of the most important rounds for black if I had the chance against a 25-50 Grandmaster. So I had the confidence that I was going to play this. And the other thing is you're threatening to win this pawn. So generally, white has to do something about these two threats. Yeah?
Yep.
So I think King E2 is one of the main moves, because how else does white defend against these two? It's not easy.
Well, queen f2.
Queen f2, it's the same idea that black has here. You now play knight takes c4.
You just take the pawn. Okay.
And now you have 2 pawns. So Fischer, you're only 1 point down here.
Yeah.
And you have these lovely dart squares, f5, c6. It's a fun position, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is another little line in the King's Indian defense. And that is with, and again, we're sticking with the main line, and that is really this position here. Let's say d6. That's with this one, where you stick to the same idea, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now one more line I will teach you in the next 10 minutes, because it's quite popular, and I'm just going to show you very quickly, Bjorn, is after bishop g7, they can go knight to f3 first, okay? So castles, yeah? Now, if they go e4, we're back into the main stuff.
No d6.
You can play d6 if you want to. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I mean, normally you play d6 because you want to stop e4, e5.
Right. Okay. So if he hasn't played e4, it's not that important.
You don't. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter so much if you play d6 or castle first. You're going to play these two moves anyway. Yeah. Now, the last line I'll show you today, because it's another very popular line, is, and it is, I'd say, a main line, but it doesn't involve the pawn going here. It involves g3, and this is called the pan-off. And a lot of King's Indian defense players don't like playing against this because it's a way that white tries to keep it boring.
Okay, right.
And white just wants to go bishop g2, castles.
By being symmetrical.
Yeah, but he's got these 2 pawns as well.
And have a little bit of space. Okay, yeah.
And he's trying to avoid these kind of positions where we go e5. But we can play d6 anyway, okay?
You never played d5?
No.
No.
Now, if you play d5, this is basically a different opening, and this opening is called the Grunfeld opening. Okay. And that is another opening which might suit your style, but let's stick with the King's Indian defense for now.
Yeah.
I mean,
seems enough.
Yeah, I think it's enough. So we're not playing d5 ever. It's a different opening list there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. And now after bishop g2, the line I play, I mean, the line that might suit you best here is trying to play e5 again. But in this position, can you play e5 now, yes or no?
No.
No, because there's not a pawn on e4 that you have
there's no tactics there, no.
So in actual fact, in these kind of lines
just
here,
losing a pawn.
You're just losing a pawn because you don't have a good knight takes e4 move in this position. So the simple way to play this is to prepare that move. And you can even do that by putting the knight on c6 or on d7, because one, maybe for you, Bjorn, to keep it simple, knight d7, like the black line, and e5.
Right.
Castles, e5. This is a simple way of doing it.
Yeah.
and you keep your queens on. It's a bit more black line-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
And one thing you'll try and do is play for e4 later on.
Yeah.
When that pawn's not lost. And I just try this position out for now. Yeah. So we don't confuse things.
Right. I've had this similar situations a lot with the black line when I meet d4, and I maybe you can tell me if it's a good idea or not, but I try sometimes to play c6, and then e4 and d5, and then just keep the pawns there.
Yes, a good line. Yeah, good lines. Generally, putting a pawn on c6 in these positions is quite good because you're trying to control the d5 square.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps, and probably in the black line though, you have your bishop on this more passive square.
Yeah.
In the King's Union defense, the bishop is much more active on g7.
Exactly. Right, and especially if I put my pawns on the light squares.
Yes, it's good, and it's nice that you're not blocking this square, because unlike the black line, let's say I don't know, rook b1, c6. I'm just playing move b3. c7 doesn't make as much sense now. You actually have the e7 square, and often this is a better square because you want to support this move anyway.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm just playing some moves. So this is a nice square with the rook coming here, kind of thing like this, and just really defend that pawn. And you can play d5 as well. You can play d5 as well, as you said, if you can. And this pawn is a good way to start an attack against white's position.
Yeah.
So I would say this is a simple way to play against this when they haven't played e4. Now, there are obviously many more variations, Bjorn, to learn, but that's enough for today, I feel.
That's enough for today.
Yeah,
my brain is
fried.
Exploding now. Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And you can go and try it out on chess.com now, I'd suggest, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Go and play some games. You probably won't
get... lose like a couple of hundred rating points in the beginning, but that's how you learn.
Whenever you learn a new opening, you've got to expect to lose a lot of games because it's going to take you a long time to understand it. But you have to take that hit to rise again and rise high.
Exactly. Yeah.
Such as life, unfortunately. And the other thing you probably find, Bjorn, as well, is that most players will just play this move against you.
Yeah.
So what I would say, Bjorn, is you when you're playing later on, you can try knight f6 on move 1, but experiment by playing d6 on move 1 as well. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
And then you can go for this other setup like this, yeah? I would say for you, d6 on move 1 is a better way to get into the same positions. So
excellent.
You're still doing the king's in defense, but the point is, can you remember the point after bishop f4, what the point of playing d6 first is?
Well, now we can play knight d7.
You can.
Is one way. Well, oh no, sorry, yeah. Now you can, if you do the setup where you play g6 and bishop g7, then you're...
now we can... Here. You leave the knight here, because you want to try to play e5. And you want that,
exactly, you want to have e5, and now we can play the bishop on one of these squares, right? Okay.
That's right. So I'd say, Bjorn, go and play some games in this. Try out some new move orders after d4. Probably d6, but your main idea after d6 is to still get in these King's Indian positions. So your next three moves will be g6, bishop g7, knight f6.
Right.
Your opponents may try totally different lines that you're not prepared for. But remember, when they lock the center, so when you do get, if you ever get this in your blitz games, you probably won't get it once now, but if you ever get this kind of position here, where you play e5, where as soon as they lock the center, you go for f5, generally.
Right. Yeah.
If you ever get really annoyed with them taking here, then another thing to experiment with is to play knight d7 first.
Right.
Okay, and you can do similar things. Again, I'm only showing the main lines, but the ideas remain the same. You can do this, because now if they take, you keep the queens on the board and you're better here, actually, because of this square.
Yeah.
So just experiment and don't keep playing the same line. Just test out different ways of playing it and see what suits you.
Okay.
And then next time we meet, you can tell me what works and doesn't work, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sounds awesome, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, Bjorn, well, I'll let you go, mate. And yeah, thank you for joining in.
Thank you so much. That was
hopefully something useful for you.
And very inspiring, so yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, and cool. Well, I'll let you go, Bjorn, and we'll catch up soon. And I'm going to end the stream, just say goodbye to everyone now anyway, yeah? So
excellent, okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Bjorn. Everyone say thank you to Bjorn as well, who was the great to have him on board, and you're going to be like 2,000 in a couple of years, Bjorn, at this rate, you know, easily. So yeah. All right. Okay.
All right. See you, mate.
Bjorn.
See you,
Cheers,
bye.
mate. Bye. Okay, so there we go. We had Bjorn. Oh, what happened to the board? It doesn't matter. I'm ending the stream now anyway. And I'd just like to say goodbye to everyone who's joined in. And I will put this stream up on my YouTube channel. So if you missed any of the stream, or if you want to go over it again, you know, because there's a lot there. There's a lot there to take in, wasn't there? I mean, there's loads of stuff to learn there, and I would say maybe even a bit too much to learn in 2 hours. You know, I'm trying to put a lot of information. So if you want to look at any part of this stream again, it will go on my YouTube channel, and you can check it out there and leave your comments below. And hopefully some of you learned something. So sorry you came in late, Oliver Nee, and you missed most of it. That's a pity. But the whole video will be up on YouTube. I'd also like to thank anyone who's subscribed to the channel. So Past Porn, thank you for subscribing. And anyone else. So who do we have here? Rufus, Doofus. If I missed your name out, I'm very sorry. It's quite hard to always, you know, remember your name. So thank you everyone, and have a good rest of the day. Hopefully you learned something about the King's Indian Defence, which is an exciting opening to play. Cheers and goodbye.